part of it being free, right, is they get that information and data to train on and to learn from, and like you said, human reinforced learning and
reinforcement learning from human feedback.
Yeah, RLHF. But my point is that I don't think a lot of folks, are really recognizing what type of security threat ChatGPT is to the information that they're putting in it. So obviously it's a very great and powerful tool. In your guys' minds, what do you think businesses should maybe be considering doing to have a ChatGPT-like tool, but also mitigating some of these security concerns and also making intellectual property public information?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing right now is when you look at generative AI is powerful when it has access to your data so you can make decisions on it. So you can just say, hey, I want to know like how many leads I got in the last month that were of XYZ value. That is powerful because if you have your data structured in a way and you have access to your data, you're able to get the tool to do things for you that are providing a lot of value. Now, the question you have to ask yourself, at least I think, is what is all the data that you have that you would want your people to be able to use a tool like ChatGPT to have access to? And then start to have cataloging of your data, classification of your data, and then have a org structure on who has access to the data.
And then I'm also going to throw in plus maybe some obfuscation to some of those data sets to allow some of your people to see a little bit of it, but not not kill the entire data set from their view.
Exactly.
Because that's been a big thing that's been coming up recently is like, hey, I've got this massive data set right now, but like this team should have full access. But I want someone like a smaller team just to have access to some of this. And it's like, okay, what do you mean some of this? How do you want to like segregate this? Like, well, based on these parameters, like, well, we're not going to go redesign your data structure just to be able to integrate this easily. So then that obfuscation play comes in where it's like we're then minimizing certain types of the data in the full database. Could be like a Redshift database to then provide that level of access. So jump back, and I didn't mean to
we literally have a call tomorrow with a company that's wanting to do this.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one of the pieces where I believe the most fundamental thing is data governance, making sure you have your proper organization structure and and data classification.
Yeah, and chain of custody.
Chain of custody.
Yeah.
And then what you need to do is use a generative-like model or code base to enable your teams to have access to that data. Because the name of the game here is making everybody at your organization more productive.
Period.
Yeah, 100%.
Because AI is not going to replace you. Humans with AI are going to replace you.
Bingo. So when it comes down to it, like somebody might be able to be 4 times as productive, right? So they can do the work of 4 people. So you have to look at this as one of 2 routes. Either the organization says, okay, I'm going to let go of my 20% of my staff that is they just can't be super producers. Like it's just not in their wherewithal to use a tool like this effectively. Get rid of them. So now I got 80% of my workforce left. But if they're all 3.5x more productive, then suddenly it's not about firing my people. It's about, can I 3.5x productivity into what X on profitability? Yeah. So now I think businesses are going to run into a very critical inflection point here where they're going to say, how much money can we make in our industry and our verticals with our products and our services that we offer with our current workforce using these tools? And they're going to kind of figure out some of these bounds and then have some type of an assessment of like, how many people do we actually need to pull this off? Or, hey, great, the revenue's there. Let's find another super producer and see if we could add more. So I don't know where that's going to end up, but I think that's the direction that things are moving. Our world is now digital.
Yeah.
And if you have a physical business, your physical business has a location or locations. I really feel like we're going to see in the next 2 to 3 years who focused on their business on not doing more, but doing less and doing less really well. Like who had that in their corporate playbook and who did not? You know what I'm saying? If you have businesses that niche up and then they expand into new verticals, and they basically take their same tried and true processes and methodologies and go dominate in those other verticals, those are the types of businesses that I feel like are going to be most successful.
Agreed.
Yeah, niched up. That makes perfect sense. I think that's a good note for us to potentially end on.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Well, for those of you listening in, Feel free to email us or message us, talk to us on our social media channels, WAC Attack Podcast, or if you're on Twitter, WAC Attack Pod, because they have a 15-character account limit.
Like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on.
Exactly.
Hit that bell.
Yeah, ring a ding ding, mofos.
Yeah, this is WAC Attack, and you've been WAC Attacked.
So we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.
See ya.